In this video, we'll start learning about budgeting. What is budgeting anyway? Well, budgeting is deciding how to spend your money. Of course, we know that when we make money from our jobs, we make money because we need to spend them elsewhere. What do we need to spend our money on? Well, big ones include housing, food, transportation, for some people, healthcare, and of course, your clothing and other entertainment. So the question with budgeting is how much money do we spend on housing, how much money do we spend on food, and so forth. Of course, we want to spend as little as possible, but the question is how do we balance them? A good guideline would be this. Ideally, we don't want to spend more than 20% on housing, of your income on housing. You don't want to spend more than 10% on food and 10% on transportation. For example, your T-Pass or maintaining a car. You don't want to spend more than 8% on healthcare and say 2% on the food, not food, on clothing. So that's half your expenses. That way you can save up to about 20%. You don't want to spend more than about 20% for everything else. Your cell phone bills, your entertainment, and so forth. If you can keep all of these expenses that way, then you will be able to save 30%. You can actually save some money for the future. After we talk about budgeting, we will talk about ways you can invest and save your money. Those are great guidelines. For example, so we see that we don't want to spend more than 20% money of your income on housing. For example, let's say that somebody makes $3,500 a month. How much money should that person spend on housing at most? Well, this is what we've been learning about percent. 1% of 3,500 will be 3,500 divided by 100, which is $35. So 20% is going to be 35 times 20, which is $700. So if you make $3,500 a month, ideally you really don't want to have to spend more than $700 a month on your housing. Again, we just divide by 100 for the percent, and then multiply by whatever number is here. And that gives us good guidelines on how much to spend on housing. We'll continue on budgeting tomorrow.